Wednesday edition, the Game 3 edition. Mr. Irrelevant with you. Josh doesn't even have his mic on. He's making fun of me. Alex Strouf, Josh DiMaggio, Will Sommers, Hunter Vaughn with you. Lots to get into as we were 3.5 hours away from the first pitch of Game 3 of the NLDS between the Milwaukee Brewers and the Chicago Cubs. Brewers have a 2-0 lead, looking for the clean sweep here in the NLDS as this series heads to Wrigley Field for the first time. First road playoff game for the Brewers here this afternoon, which, I'll be honest with you, Joshy, it doesn't worry me too much. I imagine the atmosphere is going to be electric, just like it was at AmFam Field, just obviously more Cubs fans than Brewers fans, like it was the first two games. But the Brewers have thrived in road situations. They have the best road record, as well as the best record in the MLB in the regular season. I'm fired up for Game 3 as Quinn Priester will take the bump and his great defense for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, I mean, I said it before, you probably didn't hear it. I'm not stressed about this game at all. You have yourself a 2-game lead. You're in a spot where I believe 90% of the teams that take a 2-0 lead end up winning the series. So it's take care of business.
Say that again?
If you take a 2-0 lead, you win 90% of those series.
Okay.
So do what you do what you've done all year. Go out, give it your all, try and sweep them. But hey, if you don't, I'm not worried about Game 4. Maybe Game 5 I'd start to have a little stress, but it's take care of business. You've been the better team through 2 games. I don't see that changing, and if it does, then we can have that conversation. But I've had no reason to temper my expectations for this series ending rather quickly here for the Brewers.
I would agree with you on that. Should be a good one. I mean, look.
Can I have a take here?
Yeah, give me a take here.
I think the Cubs whimper their way out of this one.
As in?
Barely show up.
It's just total domination?
Yeah.
I hope you're right.
They're saying uncle by inning 3.
That's been the case, though.
Correct.
That's been the case in the first 2 games.
Right.
And you know what?
I think an early lead for the Brewers is curtains for that team.
I love it, and I hope it is. And look, I know we're gonna talk to Arian Foster, the former NFL All-Pro and Brewers superfan, is going to join us in a bit. I never really lost faith. We talked about it on Monday during Game 1. I paced a little bit after that home run in the first, but then Game 2, even with a 3-run shot by Seiya Suzuki on Monday, I was like, okay, it's 3 runs. This team finds a way to respond. And they did it again with an Andrew Vaughn 3-run home run on Monday.
Boys, is that accurate?
What's that?
That you were not worried at all?
On Monday?
Yeah.
I might have tweeted, but like...
But he wasn't worried.
In terms of the result of Game 2, I was not worried. No, it was too early. 27 outs to respond.
You're also the guy doing stress laps from Oktoberfest.
I do stress laps occasionally, yes. And
here it is. This is right after the home run. I said, Hunter says, damn it. I said, save Priester, ? You say maybe starting Ashby wasn't a great idea. That doesn't sound
I stand by that.
That doesn't sound like a guy who's like,
now hold on.
3-0 in the first, we're fine.
I stand by, I don't know if the Ashby decision was the right one, but it worked. But 3-run homer in the first inning, you don't love to see it, including a couple of walks.
Of course.
But thankfully, Jacob Misiorowski was terrific in Game 2. Jacob Misiorowski, after plenty of debate the past month plus on whether or not he should be on the NLDS roster, was a stud for the Brewers in Game 2.
Shout out Pat Murphy. Like, you gambled by having the opener with Aaron Ashby, and when it didn't go right, he could have folded and went back to Priester, but he doubled down and flopped. Just an incredible performance by Miz. And now you have your entire bullpen and Quinn Priester to go today in Game 3.
Was just about to say that. Like, you have everybody available outside of Miz. You could even use Freddie in a pinch if you need to.
He's the gambler.
I'm sure you could. I did love the Will saying it was a flop. The flop came out, putting a little poker.
He flopped an incredible performance from Miz.
Flopped a straight draw.
Yeah, on the river.
Are we doing Texas Hold'em right now? Is that what we're talking? Okay.
That's the flop.
I'll just say this, as we mentioned, poker. Joshy, myself, Ben Bruss, Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman will be with you for the game live from Potawatomi Sportsbook, which you can watch right here on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee. We're doing a watch along from the Potawatomi Sportsbook from the start of the game to the end of the game. I'll be locked in. I know Ben Bruss is there the entirety of the game. Joshy, you're going to join us probably midway through, it sounds like?
Somewhere around the 5:30 is my target.
Okay.
I got some business to take care of, but I'll be there.
Yeah, you're a busy dude, and you've also been here since, 6 a.m., so we'll allow you to take a couple hours off.
5 a.m.
We'll be doing the ESPN Milwaukee watch-along for this game, which you can see my nervous energy live as we talk about my pacing. You will see my pacing live if this game ever gets strange.
I think we'll get. My phone just started playing music. That's why I stopped like that. Yeah, I was wondering where the heck's that.
Let's just put you on timeout. Hunter, you go ahead.
You can also watch Jim Rutledge cry about the Cubs getting swept because Jim, Matt, and Molly will be doing one on the ESPN Madison YouTube as well for this game.
I'm not going to mention his name because he has this rule he doesn't follow of if you mention his name, you have
that's
to
why
invite
I don't
him on your
care.
show. And I'm not going to mention his name right now. I'm just going to say I saw some things on Twitter that weren't very kind when he was mentioning other people's names that he didn't invite on his show. I'll just say that. So he's on a little bit of my S list right now. A little bit of my S list. I'll also say this. To tweet out during the middle of the Cubs-Brewers game 2, wow, that Monday Night Football game was crazy, is quite deflection. That almost impresses me.
It was crazy, though, in his defense. Slight defense.
I'm done. What are you doing defending him?
I'm not. It just was a crazy. It was a crazy Monday
Will's
Night
had a bad
Football
day
game.
today.
I don't think I have.
Yeah, bad day.
Yeah, but you would know more than I do, so yeah.
Just some opinions that maybe we'll get on Friday. I think what's going to happen, I don't know if because of the setup, I don't know if you'll have the opportunity to stress walk as much because of the studio isn't conducive to, much like an Oktoberfest where you have an entire State Fair Park to walk around.
I'll give you a heads up on something.
I bet you'll be stress eating.
I'll give you something I'll be doing. The first brewer that crosses home plate with a run, I will be going to the roulette machine and betting that number.
Are you going to call in live to VMix and do it on the air?
I don't know if we have the capabilities.
We do.
You should, yeah.
I just had a conversation. I don't know that we'll have those capabilities.
You mean legally, maybe?
Correct.
Yes, gotcha. I was going to say, physically
we do. Yes, legally is more the concern there. I don't think I can be on a video call while playing a casino game. I think they frown upon that.
You could do video, though.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. How's that sound?
I'm just trying to problem solve here.
Okay, I've got some weird energy in this room today. I've got some weird energy.
My energy's great.
Let's just check in on everybody. So, Hunter, how are you doing energy-wise? Are you feeling nervous? Are you feeling anxious? Where are you? Because I think you could probably tell 10 minutes into the show. I'm a little anxious. I don't know if it's bad anxious. It's just anxious. I'm ready for the game. 3.5 hours away.
I'm definitely anxious. Especially when I realized the level that I'm living and dying with this team. I tweeted this out during the game when the Brewers tied game 2 with that home run. I yelled loud enough that my upstairs neighbor went, "What was that?" And I could hear them then, because they had their windows open. I've never gotten that excited during a game before. So yeah, I am nervous. I really just want to go home because I just don't want to be around here. I was going through trying to buy tickets for the NLCS, and that was just a whole thing. So I realized I'm just on edge, and I need to just kind of be away from people because I'm so nervous. But in a good nervous. I'm excited nervous.
A bunch of you rocking with us on YouTube live at ESPN Milwaukee, at ESPN Madison. How are you feeling? Describe your mood as we are just under 3.5 hours away from first pitch. Will, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. The Cubs are starting Jameson Taillon, Jackson Chourio against Jameson Taillon this season, batting .538 with a 1.4 OPS with a homer and 2 doubles. I'm feeling great. Big game from Jack.
That's a hell of a stat. Well done. Josh, you're positive. You think this game's over. It's curtains, you said.
Anything can happen in any given game. It's Major League Baseball. Quinn could have a uncharacteristic bad outing.
Here's the good news.
What?
Here's the good news about that. And again, if it gets to a position where we may need to save some guys for tomorrow, but I'm just saying, you got Jose Quintana. You're going to play Freddie tomorrow if you lose.
Yeah, but just think back to game 1.
Right.
You plan for Quinn Priester to be able to. You're certainly not going to have somebody up and ready to go in the first inning before things like. Craig Counsell would have loved to pull Boyd earlier. It's just how you're going to throw someone in there cold,
Right.
So that's unlikely, extremely unlikely. Quinn's been so good all season. I don't expect that to happen. But weird things happen. It's playoff baseball. It's exciting. It's pressure filled.
I am not a superstitious man
But you're
by
a
any
little
stretch of the
stitious.
imagination. No, not even. I'll just say this. Quinn Priester, 19 games he appeared in a row they won. I'm glad his last game was a loss. I'm glad he got it out of the way.
That's just superstitious.
That's a great take.
I said I'm not superstitious.
But you're being superstitious.
I'm just glad we got it out of the way.
You're being superstitious.
But he's due
You're
for a lot.
stitious.
I mean, you got to acknowledge how
I feel
ridiculous of a
better.
streak that is, right? Can we all acknowledge how ridiculous of a statistic 19 games you appear in or wins in a row? That's a ridiculous statistic.
Yeah.
And of course, there's some coincidence involved. There just is.
A lot.
I feel better with him coming off a loss than
Thank
having
you.
19 straight
Thank
wins.
you. You just have
I'm
to.
the
But
same
in
way.
the event he takes a loss, you would feel worse that he took the loss in the previous game.
Okay.
Wait, yeah, say it
say that again. Yeah. I'm going to need you to run that one
Follow
back.
the bouncing ball.
Yep, working on
You
it.
phrased that poorly.
No, I said
No,
it
he
exactly
didn't.
how.
Say it again.
In the event he loses again, you would want him not to have that loss because the loss set him on the trajectory of losing games.
No. He's not going to lose. I don't know what you're talking about.
You understand how now you've just changed the terms of the discussion we were having.
Yes.
It was good he lost, but if he loses again, it wouldn't be bad because that has nothing to do with the previous game, even though a win would have to do with the previous
Let me give it
game.
to you straight, Joshy. If they lose today, it ain't going to be Quinn Priester's fault.
It's a lot of confidence.
I have a lot of confidence in Quinn Priester. yes.
I feel
And
like
I have a hard time not having.
This happens with us a lot.
Yes,
we're
it does.
flirting with
I
the
know
dangerous
exactly what you mean.
territory here, and I don't like it. I don't like the route we're going, the level of karma that could be coming here. Can we stop?
You forget we're the guys that brought everybody free burgers.
That's true. We deserve a lot of credit for
You,
that.
you forget
You also
that.
cost me a free burger, so
Yeah, you jinxed the first burger.
Hold
but
on
the
a minute,
team
you fraud.
sustained The burger.
Hold on a minute. Hunter's being a fraud right now. Hunter, did you get a free burger when we won your free burgers? 14 in a row? Did you get a free burger?
I had to work bad. I believe that was a Badger volleyball.
Interesting. Fraud. I costed you a burger, huh? You costed yourself
but
a burger.
It was-
The
it was a
previous
spiritual
time I would have
burger.
been able to.
Oh, I'm sure.
yeah.
I know I got a burger.
Yep.
What I was going to say is we end up in a spot a lot of times where I make a good argument and you just go, no. And then I just have to sort of move on.
Does that bother you?
No, it just makes doing a program difficult. It's fine. If I didn't like it that much, I would. But it's just like, well, yeah. But if that applies, this would have to apply, and you just go no, and it's like, well, I guess.
Yeah.
I saved him with the George Webb thing there.
All right. Couple of comments rolling in. Levi, Stevens Point. What up, Stevens Point? Says, I'm feeling very, very, very confident that the Brewers will sweep the Cubs today. It won't be easy, but they'll get it done and get much needed rest for the NLCS next week. Chef Ed chimes in. Strouf, have Will wave the whisk broom. Do you have the little broom back there? It's the little, it's like a paintbrush almost.
Isn't it just a paintbrush?
I don't know what it is exactly. It's somewhere back there. Just find it for us. This is bad omens if you don't find it.
Try lifting some papers.
Yeah, there might be papers on it.
It's funny because there's a hook where it's supposed to go and it's not there. I wonder who could have moved it from
Josh.
its original place.
Josh.
It's on the desk somewhere.
All right, Will, you're giving me bad juju.
Do we need your mom to come find
Found
it?
it.
There
Found
we
it.
go.
All right, now wave it for us. Wave it for us in the camera. It's gonna be a little sweet. That's what Chef Ed is acknowledging. Strobe, have Will wave the whisk broom. Brewers, you're cooking with Chef Ed. DTM, Dan, the man, chimes in. Feeling confident. Lead it to a Chicago baseball team to get swept, he says.
Speaking of DTM, his son yesterday had shrimp cocktail for the first time in his life.
Horrible.
Wait, he texted you about this as well?
He told me about it in person.
Okay. Will texted me, and I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to bring this up. Will, just give me a head nod. Can I bring it up before we get to Arian Foster, who's going to join us coming up next?
I did ask for this to be in the trust tree, but
You didn't say that to me.
You can go ahead.
All right, thank you. So I got a text that said trust tree, and I totally thought that meant it was something work related. So I said, yeah, of course, right? Like, if you're coming to me with something you want to keep between us, that's absolutely allowed. I'm just going to read it to you verbatim. He said, trust tree. And I said, yes, of course. He then followed, come on, Will. He followed up with, do I have to cook shrimp? And I said, oh no, it said, how do you cook shrimp or do you have to?
That could mean literally
anything. So I responded, send me a picture of it, not at all what I was expecting.
Yeah.
And he sent me a picture of a $5 shrimp cocktail from like a local store. And I said, what were you, and then he said, what were you expecting? Haha. And I said, something work related. And I said, that's shrimp cocktail, so you just eat it, no prep necessary.
Yeah.
And then he said, nice, just got to heat it up, obviously. And then I said, no, well, it's a shrimp cocktail, LOL. You eat it cold. And then he said, so it's supposed to be cold? Bleep. I didn't mean to get that. Can I eat it without the sauce? I don't like cocktail sauce. And I said, you can, yes, but cocktail sauce is delicious. That's a strange take. And then he followed that up with, okay, I haven't tried it. I lied.
So,
did you try the cocktail sauce?
Didn't like it.
It was horrible. I spit it out. I couldn't even stomach it.
That's okay. That happens.
So I, of course, with all of these things, I have to ask further questions.
Yep, necessary.
Now,
that's why I wanted to put it in the trust tree.
Yeah, but I hope you understand. As soon as you
The
set
trust tree has been cut down. The trust tree doesn't exist anymore.
the branches have been snipped.
It's a
I'll
trust
give you that.
bush.
either there's two options. Either you stop asking everyone involved in the program food-related questions, or they're going to get brought up because you are an onion. In terms of, there's so many layers to peel back to the things you haven't experienced and
Never
are
been called
learning.
an onion.
And are learning as you speak. There's just so many layers. There's so much content inside of it. I asked, now answer this question, Hunter and Strouf. You've been to parties, be it familial or gatherings of any sort.
Holiday, yeah.
Right, where there is available to eat shrimp cocktail.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and I go to
Definitely.
town on that.
Like,
Yeah, I love
so
shrimp
many, so much so that I've probably been in the room with shrimp cocktail like close to 100 times.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Totally agree.
It occurs often.
Every single family holiday, Easter,
I
Thanksgiving,
can't remember
Christmas,
Christmas
etc.
I didn't see shrimp cocktail.
Agreed. Yep.
And this was his first experience with it, which I guess that can happen. Maybe you're just not a shrimp cocktail family. But to be like totally foreign, you haven't seen it consumed like in movies.
When he said, do I
TV
need to cook
shows?
it all?
in
I
movies.
said no, and then he followed it up with, right, I just have to warm it up. I just about lost it.
For context, it was by a bunch of other frozen fish that you had to like defrost and then eat.
Well,
so
yeah,
I wasn't
because
really
shrimp
sure.
has to stay cold.
Hold on, guys. Be nice to him, though, because
come on.
it's nice of him. It's cool of him to be like expanding his horizons, going out on a limb, trying new things. This is good. We've encouraged this. We can all agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I can't win with you guys. I can't win.
No,
The truth is,
I'm glad you finally
the
learned.
truth is, you
I
can't.
get made fun of for eating the same thing every day. I try something new. I get made fun of.
All right.
I can't win.
I
The
mean,
thing is, he had oysters with me. I gave him one. Maybe two.
I'm allergic to oysters.
I had like
nice.
3.
What'd you think?
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't taste like anything. It was like drinking water out of a rock.
Granted, he probably had a couple brews, as did I as well. Not to throw Will under the bus here. There was cocktails being consumed, but you had them every time with cocktail sauce.
All right. We're done with cocktail sauce. We're done with shrimp. We're done making fun of Will.
Well-
Let's get back to the game. Rick in Milwaukee chimes in. You have to admit, watching this team the last few games, it feels like that 14-game win streak with the immediate answer anytime the Cubs do something, winning different ways. This team looks unstoppable. Love that from Rick. And I totally agree with Rick. Through 2 games in the NLDS, they do look like an amazing team that's here for a reason. I'm ready to see it on the road now. So obviously today makes it a big game for that reason. All right, let's get to our guest. He, at the beginning of the season, chose the Brewers as his MLB team. First time he's really actively watched baseball. What a season to jump on board for the 2-time NFL All-Pro, the 2010 NFL rushing leader, Arian Foster. You probably had him on your fantasy team back in the day, Josh, yeah? Were you an Arian Foster rosterer?
Big time.
Big time. I think we all were. Arian Foster.
I didn't want to say that to him because he's probably heard it a million times, so I kept it to myself.
I was actually going to throw to you when we talked to him. This is a pre-recorded interview. And I didn't, but now I regret that. Now you saying that because he brings up fantasy football, and I was like, Josh, you got to say something. And he didn't, but it's all right. Arian Foster of the Macrodosing Podcast on Barstool Sports joins us now on Mr. Irrelevant. Mr. Irrelevant, ESPN, Wisconsin, Alex Strouf, JOSHY DiMaggio, Will Sommers with you, and excited to be joined now by a two-time All-Pro NFL running back. But I don't even care about that today. I care about him being the newest and the biggest Milwaukee Brewers fanatic. It is Arian Foster from Macrodosing on Barstool Sports joining us now. Arian, Game 3 NLDS tonight. How we feeling? How we doing as the Brewers look to punch their ticket to the NLCS?
Locked in, man. I'm locked in. I'm look excited for the boys to see what they're gonna do. They're in Chicago. They're in Chicago this
Yeah, they're at Wrigley. Yeah, Wrigley.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, it's first playoff home road test this year, but I'm excited, man. This has been a really fun team to watch.
Since you're newer to the Brewers fan base, have you gotten that hatred of the Chicago Cubs flowing through you yet? Because it has been a lot of hate thrown back and forth between the two teams during this series.
Yeah, no, this is my first year being a fan of the squad, and I'm getting all the the back lore of being a Brewers fan, and so I understand the disdain. It's a rival, so it's gonna take time to build that up in my heart. You know what I'm saying? Because I have a little bit already because my stepdad is a huge baseball fan. He's a White Sox fan, and he's always saying he hates the Cubs. So it's natural transition.
So our producer, Will Sommers, he is a White Sox fan. He was born and raised in Chicago. We're not even going to talk about his Bears fandom, at least not yet. But we've got him on the bandwagon because I think the shared hatred for the Cubs works in our favor, right, Will?
It's the mutual hatred. It makes the most sense for White Sox fans to become Brewers fans as a second team.
Yeah, I like that. All right, Aaron, for those that don't know, that are listening to you talk Brewers for the first time, talk about how this came to be. Because my understanding is right before the baseball season started, you were like rattling through all 30 teams, and ultimately you landed on the Brewers because you love the logo. You like Milwaukee, although you hadn't been until you threw out your first pitch earlier this year. How did we land on the Brewers, and how did we land on such a magical season?
Yeah, so when we were, I do a podcast with a couple of friends of mine, and they always talk about baseball, and every time they start talking about baseball, I just don't have anything to say because I never really watched it. Prior to this, I had been to like 4 or 5 games, and I loved going to baseball games. I just was unaware about anybody. I couldn't name it. I think the last player I really knew was like Mike Piazza. I just didn't know anybody. I didn't know. It just wasn't my thing. I grew up, loving football, basketball, other things, and but I wanted to get into it. Like I said, my stepdad's a huge baseball fan. My brother's a Boston Red Sox fan, and they always talking baseball. And so when I was at the beginning of this year, I was like, you know what? Let's do it. How do I get into baseball? And they was like, well, you got to pick a team. And I was like, okay. I wanted to pick a team. I went to high school, do the Padres. And I was like, nah, I don't want to do the Padres because all my boys is Padres fans. Huh? And I was like, I want to have like an obscure fandom of baseball. I want to lock in on somebody that's kind of random. And so they were like, all right, let's do it. So we went through all 30 teams. This is before the opening pitch this year. So we went through all 30 teams. I settled on my top 5 and I had no idea about the divisions or anything, but this was my top 5. I think it was Philly, Seattle, St. Louis, the Pirates, and Milwaukee. And so we went through all 30, settled on those 5, and through those 5, I randomly, it wasn't that random. I feel like I had like a nice little reason as to why. I love the logo. The logo is amazing. I love the colors. And then I found out my boy, Julio Bourbon, he's the first base coach. Mm-hmm. So I went to college with him.
Yeah, because you guys crossed over at UT at Tennessee, and you didn't realize he was the first base coach when you selected the team, despite being friends with him. So I have to ask. Nope. Are you guys like still in touch 20 years later? Or
yeah.
So did you just miss that news? How did you miss that?
Well, I mean, he's played baseball for since we got into college. So I think he used to be with the Rangers. He played with a couple spots, and so so I remember texting him before the season started, before I did this process, because I was on this little game show that asked a bunch of baseball questions, and I was like, so I was like, yo, I'm gonna use you for a phone a friend. He was like, okay, bet. We'll be in New York. I'll let you know when I land. I said, okay, cool. I didn't think anything of it, and so when I'm picking my team, I'm like, okay, yada yada, okay, I like the Lulu, I love the ballpark, yada yada, and then I was like, who do the Brewers? I think it was between. I think I picked between. My final two was the Mariners and the Brewers, and I was like, I said, who do they play opening day? And I saw the Yankees. And I was like, oh, that's like that is baseball. You know what I'm saying? Like that when you don't know about baseball, you immediately think the Yankees and Babe Ruth. I was like, okay. I was like, this is the universe telling me to pick the Brewers because it's my introduction to baseball season, going against the baseball team of all baseball teams. I was like, I got to pick the Brewers. And then later during the podcast, I was like, hold on, my man just said he was. I was like, hold on, let me. So I Googled it. I was like, yo, he's the first base coach? That's crazy. It was dope.
That's the classic. It's a big internet trend where women ask their significant others like what's going on in the lives of their husband or boyfriend's friends, and none of like I don't know what some of my closest friends do for work, so I understand how that can happen. As you've watched the season, you've got to watch the best season in Brewers history, which is something pretty wonderful to just sort of join in and get to experience. Who's been your favorite player to watch this year?
Jackson Churio by far. So I was locked in on him like really early on in the season. Like I know about baseball. I played when I was younger, but I just was never like a super fan like that. And then so he really got me excited because he's young, he's extremely consistent. He's hype, he's energetic, and he makes crazy plays, and he's very very active in outfield. And so I was locked in on him like extremely early. But I mean, this has just been a fun team to watch in general. Because when you think about baseball, and yesterday was kind of indicative of what is normally like how you score runs, right? It's a bunch of home runs, get guys on base home run. But this season, like I got the MLB pass and everything, so I've watched like almost, I would probably say 80 games, like for real, like front to back. I was really locked in, and watching this team has been so fun because it's been their identity has just been you can never really count them out. They just grind out base hits, hit as a double, score 2 runs. That's been their identity entire. And as a new baseball fan, that's been fun because home runs are fun and stuff. But I feel like this is more like it's scrappy. It's like even though they had the best team the best record of baseball, they still kind of feel like the underdogs. Small market. It's been fun.
It's a bunch of misfits, probably overperforming. 97 wins in the regular season, now just a win away from the championship series. It's pretty ridiculous what they've been able to pull off. Arian Foster, our guest here on Mr. Irrelevant. Arian, when you have made your trips to Milwaukee, I believe that was your first time when you threw out the first pitch earlier this season. That was your first time in Milwaukee, right?
Yeah, I never had been to Milwaukee. Yeah.
So what do you make of the city? What do you make of the people? What were your takeaways from your few trips to Milwaukee, and hopefully more to come as the Brewers hopefully get to a World Series? What are your takeaways from the city of Milwaukee?
I didn't get a chance to like explore the city too much, but from what I saw, it's a very beautiful green place. The people were super super nice to me. I was walking up to random, what are they called?
Tailgates.
I was walking up to random tailgates, and people was just like showing love, giving me spotted cows.
Yeah,
it was a dope experience, man. And I've only gotten like one. You're a bandwagon, but I shut that down really quick. So,
well, how do you shut that down? What if somebody says, Arian Foster, you are a bandwagon fan? How do you come back?
I mean, I picked them at the beginning of the year when not a soul thought they were going to be a World Series contender. And I've been locked in since the beginning of the year, since the Yankees series where we got mopped, right? And I was like, we riding, right? And I you can only go through trials and tribulations if you have trials and tribulations. I picked the squad. We just happened to not have trials and tribulations this year. But I picked the squad. I was right on my squad, ride or die. Like it is what it is. Like because when I threw out the first pitch, I don't believe we was 500. I don't think we were even 500 when I threw
not yet. I don't think. Yeah. Right around 500. Yeah.
And matter of fact, after I think we threw out that first pitch, that's when the streak started. I'm not saying I had anything to do with it. I'm just saying,
Would you like credit? Do you want us to give you credit? Because
I'll give
we'll
you
give it to you. All credit to the boys, man. They've been grinding. All credit to the boys. They've been grinding. But yeah, I mean, I picked the squad. I got into baseball. It just happened to be this team, and I'm happy about that because if I had a heart, let's say I chose the White Sox this year, I don't know I would be as excited about baseball. And so this, even if knock on wood, we don't end up taking it this year, it's got me excited enough about baseball to become a real fan of the sport, and I think that's what it's about. It's about growing the sport, And as an ex-professional athlete, that's what I learned to love about like fantasy football. Right, I hated it when I was in it, but I learned to love it because I got 80-year-old grandmothers telling me how much they love watching me play, and I'm like, that's dope. It's growing the sport.
Yeah, that's awesome. Arian Foster here on Mr. Irrelevant. What are you thinking for tonight? You thinking a sweep is in play? I want to get into your mindset right now because I'm all systems go. I want the Brewers to treat this as if it's a game 7. I want them to try and shut out the rival just down south from us here and try and get a sweep on them. Where are you at?
That would be ideal. I mean, of course, you don't want to walk into the playoffs. You want to stomp into the playoffs. And this would be a statement. They come out. It was a 9-3 the first game. This game, I'm hesitant to say that that'll happen because I feel like we really emptied the clip in the second game pitching wise. Like we really put out the big guns. Who do we know who's on the mound?
Yeah, Quinn Priester going to go, who won 19 straight appearances during the regular season.
And the good thing is the only person who we expect not to be available is The Miz. Yeah. So the bullpen is still stocked. You haven't used Quintana at all. There's options.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. So that is like the behind Freddie P. Mm-hmm. That's probably your big gun. So maybe they saying mess it, man. Let's close it out. I would love nothing more than to do that. That makes a statement that says the season wasn't a fluke and we're here.
And by the way, give me the Dodgers in the CS because of the regular season sweep of the Dodgers by the Brewers. Give me them. I'd love to see another sweep in the CS.
I would love to see. I got a bunch of family in LA, so I would definitely pull up to those away games all brewed up in my Brewer gear too.
So you mentioned brewed up in my Brewer gear. You mentioned away games. Are we getting you back to Milwaukee once hopefully the Brewers win the series? When are you coming back?
Absolutely. I was gonna go to the Chicago game, but I had a couple things I had to handle down here in Houston. I was gonna go to that game to today, but I couldn't make it. But next series, I'm probably gonna pull up to 1 or 2 games. For sure.
You let us know. We'll buy you as many spotted cows as you need. We'll make you as many brats as you need. We'll make sure
we
cheese
can show
curds.
you around too. Yeah, we can show you the city. Take you to all the hot spots.
We got to put Arian Foster on a shuttle to a Brewer game.
I will take it. You know what I want to do? I heard the golf courses out there are amazing. I'm an 8 handicap. I love golf, and I heard the golf courses out there are amazing. So if y'all got any really good spots, I'm in.
Well, we know we could probably arrange trying to get you on Whistling Straits if that's something that's in your interest.
I heard about that one. Yeah. I mean, if y'all can get me on that, let me know, man. I'll pull up.
We'll have our people talk to your people. A couple more for Arian Foster. All right, Aaron, we got to talk about your rap career. I know you haven't released music in a little bit, but I need Bobby Fino with a Brewers hype track. Can we make that happen? Is that something that's been on your brain already?
I don't know if that's my style, but the Brewers actually asked me to get on to send them a video for like a hype in the stadium thing, and I just was like, I've never been that guy to like hype up. That's just I'm always kind of play the background. Like hyping up has never been my style. I'm a little more calm than that. So even when I played, I was never like yelling. It was just I was chill.
You were lead by example, not lead by voice.
There you go.
So we just need them in the stadium.
So should we put you on the NLCS roster? I guess I'm not sure what the angle is then. If we're not having to record hype up videos, we should just put you on the damn roster.
I'll just be in the stands drinking my spotted cow.
Maybe another first pitch
like everybody else.
How was the first pitch? That. Did you throw a strike?
I did throw a strike, but it was very underwhelming because I had a mishap in my first pitch career.
Go on.
So, I'm from San Diego, and they asked me to throw out a first pitch a while back. And so I was like, yeah, of course. So I flew out, went to the game, and this was my problem. My problem was that I went to the game, and I like going to the game, and I love enjoying like some drinks, right? Mm-hmm. So my dad was there, all my boys from high school was there. The problem was the game was at 6, and I didn't eat the whole day. Walked into the ballpark, was like, need a drink. Let's get it going.
Mm-hmm.
Was a little saucy. I was a little saucy. And in my head, you got that little demon in your head.
Yeah.
Hey, we gonna throw an 80-mile-per-hour fastball, and we're gonna make this crowd go, ooh.
Uh-huh.
That didn't happen. I threw like a 65 grounder, and
Skipped
it
it.
bounced. Yeah, and so what I didn't was with my team to show up and ground it. And so I threw a nice little rookie of the year floater.
Yeah, just to get him across.
But I think that story of your first pitch in San Diego is like the epitome of why you fit in with Brewers fans.
Uh-huh.
You maybe got a little too tipsy and you skipped in it. So I think you fit in perfectly.
Yeah, I can't tell you the amount of times a few beers have put me into an irrational spot of confidence.
Yeah, 100%. And it was a little serendipitous too. My hometown, San Diego Padres. I picked Brewers over them. I made the correct choice. I made the right choice.
Did you? So I was following along with the stuff you guys were doing on macrodosing, sort of behind the scenes there. Did you get to go down the slide, or were you asked to? Because that's also an experience some people get that is not. It can be scary for some. There's a broken arm.
When I did it, I screamed the whole way down like a little sissy. I mean, it was not a good pop by me.
I definitely went up and down the slide about 3 or 4 times.
Wow, like a kid in a jungle gym.
Yeah, I mean, it was really. I mean, I was already had a couple spotted cows right here, so it was fun. It was super fun. But here's my takeaway, because everybody says, "Oh, there's a guy that broke his arm."
Yeah.
Yep.
It's no disrespect to him, but if you get injured on that slide, that is user error. That's on you.
Yeah.
It's a big slide, I guess, but it's not.
Not enough to carry it.
No,
broken bones.
while I'm a big wuss when it comes to heights, there was never a thought in my brain when I did it that, oh no, I'm going to break my arm here.
Yeah, I mean, even the padding on the back is just it's excessive, right? It's I think they're covering their tail for that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But listen, it's a slide. Like
We've all done them.
I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what that dude was doing.
The wrong things is the answer.
Uh-huh.
The wrong things.
No, like I said, no disrespect to him, but
No disrespect to him. I'm just going to disrespect him for a moment.
I mean, I question his sliding capabilities for sure.
All right, Arian. Last thing before we let you go, our producer Will Sommers, who I mentioned is a Bears fan, has one thing for you. I'm not even sure where this is going. Will, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so one football question for you. These guys, they always beat up on me because they're Packers fans. I'm a Bears fan. And they must not have heard you say it, so I was hoping you could explain to them that the NFL is scripted and it really doesn't, nothing matters when they beat me every time, and they're idiots for thinking that it does.
You know how crazy that whole whirlwind was? This is how crazy it was. So for the folks that don't know, there was a viral moment that happened on our podcast because my man's PFT commenter, he set me up, and he just randomly was just like, "Hey man, off air you telling me how the NFL is scripted," and I banter, right? So I'm like, "Oh yeah, man, yada yada yada," and we kind of go back and forth, and it was a funny little joke on the pod. That thing took off like I've never seen anything. There's viral moments, and then there's like.
I looked yesterday, it has like 100 million views on
It's insane. It's insane. I don't even know there's a way to track how many people saw that because it was all over Instagram, every social media app. And like I had been viral before. That was to another level. So much so that the NFL used it as their marketing campaign, their campaign rollout for the next season. They had, I don't know if you remember, they had guys sitting around talking about the script, which kind of made me mad because I'm like, how you not? I mean, it wasn't like I was just a regular guy in the league. I had a name. You could have put me in the, but it's all good, But it was an unreal moment that the funniest part is like I had some of my boys like hit me and was like, "Hey, is it for real?" I'm like, "Bro, what's wrong with you? You can clearly see I'm joking. Clearly."
So you're not even going to entertain it anymore. You learn from your mistake. No more talking about that.
I mean, that is a litmus test for critical thinking of America.
Yes.
In my opinion.
True that.
Because you could clearly see I was joking, but it's run with the. That's on you. If you think that's real, that's on you.
All right, Arian. Lastly, before we let you get out of here, give us some homework. Give us a homework assignment. What conspiracy theory should we look into?
Okay. There's one called MK Ultra. MK Ultra is where the government was trying to make super soldiers, and so they gave them LSD.
Yes,
and they were trying to make soldiers that had no remorse. So they're trying to make these like super soldiers, and it had the opposite effect because LSD makes you like harmonize with the universe. But that was like a conspiracy theory rolling around that they were trying to brainwash soldiers. That is actually true.
This
happened.
This nothing could be more up my alley. I've read multiple.
I was
going to
say you perked up right when he said
MK
that.
Ultra. It's mentioned in Chaos by Tom O'Neill. I don't know if you've read that book. Fascinating book. It MK Ultra implicates a lot of people, a lot of very people who have done terrible things. I believe Timothy McVeigh.
Oh.
Is also implicated in that. I listen to Macrodosing. I'm also a Truanon. I saw you guys had Brace Belden on recently.
Brace, that's my guy.
Yeah, he's a character. Something else.
That's one way to categorize it.
All right. Well, on that note, go Brewers. Arian Foster, Macrodosing Podcast.
I was going to say, off of that, you can go listen to my Macrodosing and hear all these sort of things there as well.
Arian, thanks so much, man.
My man, thank y'all for having me.
Arian Foster, Macrodosing Podcast from Barstool Sports, and of course the two-time NFL All-Pro joining us. He was great. Enjoyed our time catching up with him, talking baseball. That story, though, I'm still hooked on that story of his first pitch, the one he did in San Diego, and he's like, yeah, I was too drunk. I overthought it. Now, Joshy, you dropped in there, irrationally confident when I've had too many beverages. That's just my normal state, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't need a beer to be irrationally confident. I thought we were going to talk more about MK Ultra.
Or to not be.
I was so ready for the MK Ultra conversation.
Go ahead. Floor is yours.
Well,
I'll give you 2 minutes. Go ahead.
I don't really want to have a conversation just myself, but
I'll listen. I don't know much. I haven't done additional research yet.
I mean,
it's a homework assignment.
He said it there. It was they were using LSD to see if they could train super soldiers to basically do mind control. Now, when this was found out, it was labeled as not have worked. The interesting part of it is, what if it worked and they just told us it didn't work?
All right, Will's quit the segment. Will is taking his headset off and is not listening.
Why is he not listening?
I don't know. He doesn't like broadening his horizons as much as I thought.
Was DTM involved with the LSD trials?
Oh, DTM involved?
No, I just didn't know it, Josh. I wasn't paying attention for the first 10 seconds, and then he lost me.
All right.
Yeah, people like...
I would like to discuss this further on Friday.
Okay, because I was going to say, there's conversations about like other things that have happened in history that people think could be connected to MK Ultra, and I love a good conspiracy theory. Yeah,
I do. I do too, and that's pretty much all they do on Macrodosing, which is a podcast with Big T and PFT Commenter, who you might know from Pardon My Take with Big Cat on their Macrodosing podcast over at Barstool Sports. So appreciate Arian talking conspiracy theories, baseball, and all the in betweens with us here on Mr. Irrelevant. I texted him after the fact and I said, if they get to the World Series, we're doing this thing from the AmFam Field parking lot again. We're running it back. So hopefully not the first and last time we see Arian Foster in the next couple of weeks here on Mr. Irrelevant. All right, a couple of
Ted
things.
Kaczynski?
I don't even know who that is.
Unabomber.
Oh, that's the Unabomber.
Sirhan?
I almost said, and now I'm going to say, when I was a child, I was wearing my glasses and put my hood up because, as you guys know, I'm a hoodie guy. Always have been. Always wear my hood, no matter the month. My mom used to tell me I looked like the Unabomber when I was growing up, and I did not think that was funny.
I mean, that image of a sketch is probably the most famous sketch artist, like of all time. It's that and the Leprechaun.
By the way, DTM chimes in. I plead the fifth.
That's why he's the man.
Yeah, right there. That's how he gets his nickname. All right, couple of things. So from a Brewers perspective, we do have a lineup. Christian Yelich will lead off for the Brewers in Game 4 at 4:08. Jackson Chourio will bat second. There is no Andrew Vaughn and no Blake Perkins in this lineup. Brandon Lockridge is getting the start in center field for the Brewers today, which is an interesting move.
I love it.
He's very fast. He's the fastest player on their team.
It feels like Pat Murphy's almost just toying with Craig Counsell at this point, like making moves to get Craig Counsell on his heels. Like Craig Counsell, there might not even be any logical reason to put Brandon Lockridge in the lineup, but just to mess with Craig Counsell's head.
And toying with the lineup a little bit, as I mentioned, Yelich leading off, Churio batting second. Then you have Bryce Terang at 3. Contreras is your cleanup batter, and then they move Sal Frelick up from 6 to 5, which they had in the first 2 games. Jake Bowers will play first base and bat 7th. 6th.
This could also be a part of it.
7th.
The number of right-handed batters they're trying to get into the lineup because the wind, as from what I saw, looks like it's going to be blowing in at Wrigley today. So I think their kind of thought process might be small ball it. Vaughn's not going to do much.
Yeah.
He's going to get a lot of pop-ups. So try and get some of the power out of the lineup because it's looking like 8, 10, maybe 15-mile-an-hour winds coming in from center field here this afternoon at Wrigley. I like it. As much as I want Andrew Vaughn in the lineup every day because he's got the best last name on the team, I'm okay with it.
It's also a righty on the mound, too, so it makes sense to get at least a couple more lefties in there.
All right, let's get this sweep, baby. 4:08 start. We'll be with you for the watch-along. Will's got his brush out. Let's get the sweep going. And the Brewers can get onto the NLCS, likely against the Dodgers, but we'll see what happens in that series with the Phillies. I have more faith in the Phillies to climb out of a 2-0 hold than I do the Cubs.
100%.
They're just a better team.
Which says a lot because the Phillies are about to go to Los Angeles down 2-0.
Right.
Is a all systems firing Dodgers team the same amount of better as the Brewers are than the Cubs? Like, the Phillies are good. The Dodgers are a super team.
Yeah. No. The answer is no.
Are you sure?
Or, excuse me, rephrase the question.
I think you can make the argument.
I think, is the Dodgers team all things firing better than the Brewers?
No, I think the gap between the Dodgers and the Phillies is similar to the gap between the Brewers and the Cubs.
Yes.
All systems firing, yes, I agree. And
I would say just
Ohtani's been great.
Yeah.
In terms of the Phillies, like getting some late inning rallies and getting like the last, I think game 2, they put together something at the end.
They got close.
They almost got close, but yeah.
Yeah, everybody was wondering what domino was going to fall when Castellanos did what he did. No domino has fallen yet, at least. So maybe it's just a timely hit by him without a historical, memeable moment.
It's usually home runs where it's
true.
the memeable.
True. Rather than just a big hit. You're right. That's fair. All right, quick Packers note since we have last spoken. The Cincinnati Bengals have traded for Browns quarterback Joe Flacco. He is now a Cincinnati Bengal and announced earlier today by head coach Zach Taylor. Joe Flacco will start Sunday at Lambeau Field against the Packers, which means it will be the second time in 3 games, rather, that the Packers see Joe Flacco on the other side of things. Obviously, the Browns beat the Packers in week number 3, giving them their first and only loss of the season thus far. And Joe Flacco will look to become the second quarterback in NFL history to beat a team twice in a year while quarterbacking 2 different teams. Strange statistic. I am not worried. The line did not move one bit. It is still 14.5.
Repeat that stat.
Joe Flacco is looking to become the second quarterback in NFL history to beat the same opponent twice while quarterbacking 2 different teams.
Jack Kemp was the other we discovered on Jen Gabe and
That is
Chewy.
correct. And I have confirmed the research done by Jen Latta.
He was waived.
He was.
I believe, because
After he was injured.
Broke a finger or thumb, hand?
Yeah, it was something in his hand. And then he was picked up for $100.
Yeah, that's just a different era, because, like, what level of certain quarterback do you have that you go, we just need a different one, get rid of this guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
I imagine he wasn't the only guy to have broken limbs.
No, I would assume not especially back in those days,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I imagine that was more common and play with it. So we get Joe Flacco versus the Packers Part 2 on Sunday as the Cincinnati Bengals come to Green Bay. We'll preview that game a little bit more on Friday. But it's all Brewers all the time here on Mr. Relevant as we get you ready for Game 3 at Wrigley Field. Well, we'll see what Hunter came up with because it's time now for our favorite Wednesday game. It's time now for One Word Wednesday. Hunter's got a list of topics. Josh, Will, myself will respond with one word, sometimes more, sometimes less, as we play a little One Word Wednesday. Hunter, the floor is yours.
All right, we're going to go through some of the games that are going on over these next couple of days. Starting off with Major League Baseball, the Seattle Mariners have a 2-1 lead on the Detroit Tigers. First pitch for that game is 2:08 today.
Yeah, coming up in less than an hour. Dumper is my word. Seattle has been a fun watch. They're another relatively small market team who's kind of beat the odds. They went all in at the trade deadline. They've been a fun story. I'm actually rooting for the Mariners in the AL. So I'm going to go with the word dumper.
That's going to be my word as well, but I also want to add, did you guys see the Mariners fan in the crowd of Tigers fans, and he was wearing the jersey that said dump 61 here, and Cal Raleigh hit a home run, bounced one bounce in the bullpen right to him.
I did see this.
He dumped 61 on that guy.
Baseball scripted.
Dumped it.
Scripted.
Arian Foster might make that argument.
I'll say Brewers. I think they are the Brewers of the AL.
I think that's a
they're a
good call.
fun team to root for, and they're a fun team to watch.
Give me Blue Jays Mariners. That would be a really fun series.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, speaking of the Blue Jays,
nobody wants to see the Yankees, that's for sure.
yeah, they've got Game 4 against the Yankees. The Blue Jays have a 2-1 lead in that series. First pitch for that game is at 6:08 tonight.
Yeah, my word is Schlittler. He was phenomenal in the wild card round. Good by me to not
That's
mess
a
that one up.
dangerous word.
I know. Ben Brust got dumped last week for saying that word earlier in the week, whatever that was. Schlittler, my word. He was awesome in that wild card must-win game against the Red Sox. I think he went, 7 innings, 8 innings? On a big stage that he'd never been on before. Intrigued to see what he does on the bump for the Yankees today, and a must-win game for them. Schlittler, my word.
Boone. I think that guy's a buffoon. I think
Aaron Boone? Yeah.
I think he's out. I think it's just watching the way the Yankees season has developed, watching how bad they are on defense and how undisciplined of a team they are. The Yankees are probably a top 5 team in all sports that I like watching losing.
I agree.
I'm going to go Judge. That home run he hit last night was awesome.
Big
it was
time.
the first time he's come up big in this playoffs. I think they take another one at home with Game 5 headed back to Toronto.
One more baseball game besides the Brewers and Cubs. Phillies at Dodgers. The Dodgers a 2-0 lead on the Phillies.
Yeah, I know I just said I trust the Phillies more than I do the Cubs to dig out of a 2-0 hole. But my word is sweep here. I think the Dodgers win. Yamamoto on the mound for the Dodgers. They've just been so good. They are a super team, to use a word Josh used earlier. Sweep is my word for this Dodgers-Phillies Game 3.
I'm going to say Ohtani because as much as we talk about him being so great, I don't think we give enough to just how special.
I think you're so right on this.
I saw somebody prior to the season, and it happened around the Heisman a lot too, where they were comparing Travis Hunter to Shohei Ohtani. If Travis Hunter was Shohei Ohtani, he'd be like Randy Moss and Deion Sanders. That's how good Shohei Ohtani is at
Great
both
point.
the things he's asked to do.
And maybe you could make the case in college football. Travis Hunter was that. He has not been that yet in the NFL. Only a couple games into his NFL career. But right, it's almost insulting to how great Ohtani is.
Yes.
He is the best player we will ever witness.
Yes, and I thought for a long time that was Mike Trout, and then Ohtani showed up and said, well.
I'm better than my teammates, who we put in that category.
It also, Ohtani, because I went to one of his games when he played for the Angels, the impact he had on that franchise from an advertising standpoint, too, that entire stadium was all companies from Japan. Like, they had hundreds upon hundreds of people traveling across the ocean to come and see that man play. Like, he's just a different level of superstar globally, doesn't get enough respect.
Well said.
I'm going to go rotation. The Dodgers' pitching rotation this postseason so far has been disgusting. Blake Snell particularly, I believe he's had back-to-back 9 strikeout performances. And then you got Shohei, obviously Yamamoto, and then Glass now. It's a staff you don't want to face right now.
Moving into college football, the Big Ten has a couple of big games. Of course, the Badgers are not one of them at all. Number 1, Ohio State at number 17, Illinois. Battling for the Illabuck Trophy. It's a giant tortoise.
All right, my word is trophy with a question mark. Did not know that was a trophy game. This is the first I'm ever hearing of. What'd you call it? An Illabuck?
It's called the Illabuck. It's a giant like tortoise. It used to be
sounds like a word we
alive.
shouldn't.
Yeah, it used
Sounds
to
like
be,
a word we shouldn't be able to say.
It used to be a live one, and then the team that would win it, they would line up on their sideline, and like one player would take the Illabuck trophy, and they'd pass it backwards over their head to the next guy. It was this weird thing, and then they realized maybe we shouldn't do that to a live animal.
Huh. I've got nothing for Illinois, Ohio State, gotta be honest. I'm too floored by the tortoise.
Illabuck, yeah.
And the trophy game that I didn't know. Trophy games feel like they're losing their luster.
They lost them years ago.
Yeah.
Nebraska and Wisconsin never needed a trophy game.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
Iowa and Minnesota I'm fine with. Nebraska's where you get watered down.
Who's got the jug?
Nebraska.
No, that is Minnesota, Michigan. The little
What
brown
is the
jug.
trophy for Wisconsin, Nebraska?
It's the Freedom Trophy is Wisconsin, Nebraska.
That's the Freedom Trophy?
Iowa.
What's the Iowa one?
Iowa, Minnesota is the Floyd of Rosedale. It's a giant pig. Wisconsin, Iowa is the Heartland Trophy. It's a giant bull. I don't remember what Iowa, Nebraska is.
Remember when Bob Diaco created the civil conflict
Yes.
between UConn and was it UCF?
Yep.
And there was a trophy and then they just didn't take it when they won it.
My word is Buckeyes. I think they win.
Thanks, Will. Good insight.
One last one. Top 10 battle in college football. Number 7, Indiana at number 3, Oregon.
Mine's Oregon. I think they're the best team in the country.
Ooh.
Interesting.
It's a fun take. I don't have an issue with it. I just... Spicy.
Yeah, I think what Dan Lanning is doing is so impressive. I think he's very good at his job, and I think they just have special talent.
My word's Big Ten. I just want to take a moment because I didn't really have a thought on this game, just to highlight how bad Penn State is. I hate Penn State so much, and the fact that they've gone back-to-back losses, including being UCLA's first win this year. Just wanted to put that out there for a second.
Penn State. I said Yankees is top 5 team for me to root against. Penn State's a top 10er.
I love
for
it.
Sure.
I love watching them lose. The whiteout game.
I'm going to take a page out of Chef Ed's book here, who chimes in on YouTube. My one word is the only word that matters.
That's more than one word. Jim Rutledge just turned the program off.
I timed my
assuming you
headphone
turned it on in the
takeoff
first
perfectly
place.
there.
Game 3 coming up in about just under 3 hours. I'm so ready. It's Brewers Cubs at Wrigley Field, Game 3. It's time now for What We Missed and What We Learned, which is presented by Door County Distillery. Locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits made locally in beautiful Door County. Gins, rums, brandies, vodkas, and of course my personal favorite, the whiskey. I love their bourbon. They've got a 27-time gold medal award-winning single malt whiskey as well. If you're mixing in your old fashions, drinking it on the rocks, whatever you're doing, choose it right. Choose it. With the best in the state, the best in the biz, local, affordable, award-winning. Door County Distillery. Visit the website, doorcountydistillery.com, to find the retailer nearest you in the state of Wisconsin, wherever you are. Stevens Point, Green Bay, Milwaukee, Madison. Door County Distillery's got you covered. doorcountydistillery.com. Let's start with Will today. Will, what did you learn today?
You guys already took my thing that I don't like shrimp cocktail.
You didn't learn that today, though. You learned that yesterday.
Yeah. Try
Have we had a
again.
show since then?
Have you learned any words, any vocabulary additions?
None that I didn't know.
So you knew about
every
MK
single
Ultra.
word said.
I do know now.
I think we've gotten insubordinate on the program.
Here's the other part of this.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do?
So we've talked about my affinity for people before. I'm a people person. I love people. People fascinate me.
Careful, Dan the man's listening. Where are you going?
Nowhere bad. I think Dan the man will probably agree with me on what I'm about to say. I have never met anybody that has made me speechless more times than Will Sommers does on a regular basis.
Now you know how Josh and I feel
often-
about you.
I just don't even think it's comparable. He is truly an anomaly. And that's why I love the fact he's a part of the show, and I love that he's part of our team at ESPN Wisconsin. He's an awesome dude. But the amount of times he says something and I just have nothing to respond with is truly baffling. Because Joshy and Hunter, to your point on how you feel with me, I never know how to shut up. I always have a quip or a snapback for something. For just about everything. This dude leaves me speechless at least once a day. So, yes, while he may be insubordinate in his duties of listening to what we say and writing down the vocabulary in which he doesn't know, God, is he truly one of a kind.
MK Ultra is already explained. I don't know if you want me to read the definition. It's pretty much what.
Do you know
our
what
good friend
insubordinate
Arian-
means?
Yeah, what's insubordinate mean?
I think you were just calling me dumb.
No, that's wrong.
Not doing my duties the right way. I don't know.
See,
Here's why I doubt that he listens to the show intently. Because that wasn't a super obscure word.
no.
And then he acted like he knew what it meant, and then he told us incorrectly
Also
what it meant.
was 10 seconds ago.
Oh,
I don't have text to speech
Well,
up.
right, but we've been doing the show for 61 minutes now. You think that's the only word you didn't know in the entire program?
Yeah.
There's no way.
do you think there's a
All right,
potential?
name one then.
Do you think there's a potential you think you know words and you don't, and you just assume and hope we don't remember?
No.
Yes. Now you're lying.
You want the definition of insubordinate?
Yep.
Defiant of authority.
Does that sound like what you were doing?
Who is the authority here?
The hosts on the program.
How was I defying you?
By not doing your job.
I don't know what you want me to do. You want me to,
Your job.
you want me to
I've
fake,
explained it
you want me to
already.
fake it?
It's not faking it. You're just not doing it.
What did I not do?
All right, no bad vibes. No bad vibes. We're getting ready for game 3. No bad vibes.
You're getting an all-time lash out from Strouf right now.
No, I'm done. I'm done acknowledging him. I'm done talking to him. He's done. You're done for the show.
All right. Next episode, I'll start making up words I don't know. Just pretend
That's
I don't know.
fine.
I think what should happen is if you don't find a word of the day, you should have one prepared to share with the team. Just a random word of the day.
Last time I did that, I was also ridiculed. So
It's because you typically get the definitions incorrect.
It's also like you're
we-
just
we-
figuring out the point of this segment.
So I'm going to lead with a compliment. They call this the good old-fashioned compliment sandwich, okay? We have reframed how this show ends around you since you've joined the show full-time. We changed the name of the segment to What We Missed, What We Learned. It used to be just What We Learned or What We Missed, right? One or the other. Now it's both. We changed it because you, and I mean this is a compliment, this is part of the compliment sandwich, have a dumb brain. Your vocabulary spectrum, if you will, is not very wide. And
real compliment sandwich we got here. Give me the definition of compliment sandwich. Use it in a sentence, huh?
I'm giving you a compliment sandwich. I'm going to end with a positive. Today, you underperformed and you underdelivered for what this segment is supposed to be. However, you usually do a really good job. Compliment sandwich.
All right.
He's ignoring us.
Go Brewers. Tune in 2 to 4. Well, no.
Well, our live
2 to
stream
4,
will
you
begin at
can
4.
listen to Homer and just pregame and then the live stream for KB.
Will, you all right? Just a thumbs up. All right, I got to go apologize to Will. Hopefully he's back with us Friday. It's been Mr. Relevant. Thanks to Arian Foster. Thanks to Hunter. Thanks to Joshy. I think thanks to Will. We'll talk to you Friday. Peace.